Ghosty fam, Amy here. Welcome to The Activity Continues, a podcast where three soul friends talk about all things paranormal. Ghosts, hauntings, psychics, movies and TV shows, especially The Dead Files, and other spooky and spooky adjacent things. We also like to interview people in the paranormal community, as well as past Dead Files clients and other interesting people. Sometimes we even tell your stories. I hope you enjoy the show.
Filming, yes. We are.
We are filming. Look at that. We're filming.
Okay.
All right, so we are back. We took a little break to refresh.
Noticed my hair. So
I did notice that, but I didn't say anything.
we haven't seen anybody in person in a long time.
I saw you. I heard
in a ponytail.
Yeah, it was back, and I couldn't really.
I did notice it, but I thought I'd already commented on it.
No, because I did it yesterday.
Okay, well
then it wasn't.
Okay, well it's your fault for not telling.
Fun fact, I actually cut my hair for the first time like in a year or so. My stylist just always is like, "Can I just trim the dead ends?" I'm like, "Yep." But I finally just actually cut it because I needed some layers back into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went with the honey blonde.
Oh, sure, right.
And did you all know that Taylor Swift's hair color is called Old Money Blonde?
Yes, I did know that.
That is like the dishwater dirty blonde hair that I had in high school that I've been covering for 20 years.
Yeah, that's my natural color.
Yep.
That's my drag name. Old Money Blonde.
Oh, I thought it was going to be Dirty Blonde.
No, okay. Old Money Blonde. Yeah, I did know that from TikTok.
Oh,
Anyways.
Mine is called Holy Shit, You're Gray at 39.
Oh, honey, my roots.
My husband keeps trying to tell me to cover it. I'm like, why? I don't care.
I saw a lady on TikTok. I hope I saved it. I will show it to you.
Was it long hair?
Long, beautiful gray hair. And somebody had posted and said, color your hair. You need to color your hair. And she was like, okay, fine. I'm going to go. And she goes to the hairstylist. And I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And she didn't do it.
Does she have kind of a longer face? She looks like mid-30s.
Yeah.
She's beautiful.
Beautiful.
I know.
And she goes back from the salon and she pulls the thing off her head. And she goes, did you think I was really going to do it?
I know. I'm
so beautiful.
Yeah. Love you too.
Oh, bless
you. Very. Is he still with that girl?
Daisy?
What?
Obviously, they edited it. Daisy was very sweet, but she had a lot of stuff going on, and he was like, yeah, it was kind of a mutual decision. Well, like a month and a half ago, he's like, yeah, she just basically ghosted him after a year plus of dating. She's younger. She had a lot of shit going on in her life, and it's just he's
35.
No, it's 49. Yeah, he'll be 34 in May. But
why is it so hard to have the common respect to just talk to someone?
She was very sweet, but she was a little bit younger. But
is he okay?
Yeah, he is. I think he's just kind of like, he saw it. He kind of saw it coming and that sort of stuff. And it was just hard. Like,
she seemed so happy.
She had a cat, and then she adopted a second cat, and she had a dog. And Matt's dog is
a lot
prey driven.
He's a lot.
And Pike is the sweetest thing in the world, but he's
a lot.
He's got some stuff to work through, and actually Matt's got a new contact that works with reactive dogs. The thing is like, Pike has snapped at all of our dogs at some point, but he's never actually bitten anybody, but he'll just he's a lot of bark. He's a lot he's just no. And, very yelly. But then if he gets corrected, because I've been able to grab his scruff and he doesn't re-go on me.
Ooh. I'm skittish from dogs, though. Except yours, because they're nice. And yours are nice.
Yes. But it's just shit that you, you just do. You just know. I mean, my cousin's dogs got into it. So when I talk about my cousin's kids who got into it a little bit, their dogs got into it.
Mm-hmm.
Because they had been around each other for a week, and one was getting on the other. Literally, she was humping her, because when they get frustrated, and it's not always a dominant thing, it is just it's an energy thing.
Same.
Yeah. Megan, her couch.
You're missing on a goal.
But so he'll redirect, but their dogs got into it. And I was like getting dinner ready, and I just hear them. And my cousin, no, it was walleye, fish tacos.
Even worse.
My cousin is like, Coco, stop. And, actually her dad was like kicking the dogs to separate them because you don't want to put your hand in between.
Right.
You want to use your foot. And I go out on the deck, and it's like, Coco, get up here now. And Coco ran her ass up to me, and she came inside, and they had gotten them separated, but like they're all just, they pussyfooted around it. They're just like, no, don't do that. And they're like, the kids. And I'm like, so what you need to do is be like, knock this fucking shit off, and you kick one of them real hard. They're not focused on you, so they're not going to realize it, and then they're going to be like, oh, what is going on?
It just snaps them out of the whatever.
It's not to hurt them. It is to get their attention. It's the same thing when
This is why I have cats.
I've never seen cats fight.
Oh yeah, we just let them go. Don't know. They have big sharp teeth
and claws.
Who's that? Is that Greg?
7 to 7:20. You got. I'm gonna an hour.
Okay.
All right,
Gregory.
Okay.
Well, hang on. Let me restart recording. Oh wait, I said stop. Stop recording. Time. You guys, if this if the actually something we can put out, I will be fucking shot.
I'm tipsy. I can't drive right now.
You don't have to drive right now.
Sure. I can. It's dangerous.
No, I wouldn't drive right now.
I wouldn't drive. You wouldn't drive any time, though.
I don't like driving.
Like, that has nothing to do with your alcohol content. It's that you don't like driving.
I don't like driving.
Yeah.
I'm
don't like
driving.
driving.
Fine.
I like pickles.
Pickles are amazing.
So does Jordan. He calls them Durkle-Durkles.
I'm a spicy pickle.
Spicy pickle. Did I tell you that's what they called Vivi at the salon, at the dog salon?
I believe it.
Yeah, because
She is spicy.
Her name is Vivian Pickles, and I brought her to the salon, and when I brought her in for maybe the third or fourth time, and the woman's like, "Oh, the last time that you brought her in, we called her the Minnesota Pickle," and then I was like, "Oh, that's cute." La la la. I bring her in. I bring her in the next time, and I go, "Oh, so was she the Minnesota Pickle today?" And she goes, "Well, she's more of a spicy pickle today."
Also, there's a delicious dill pickle pasta salad. It is
I have
so good.
The recipe.
It is so.
I made it.
Isn't it phenomenal?
I also have the Minnesota sushi recipe for a dip instead.
Okay, so Minnesota sushi.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's pickle, cream cheese, and
ham,
corned beef, or ham.
Ham.
Oh, okay. I've made
Ham.
Ham. You wrap it up in a tortilla, and then
You don't even use a tortilla.
No.
you wrap it in the ham. You wrap it in the ham.
Wrap it on the outside.
You wrap it in the ham.
in the ham.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. And then, and then you cut it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like sushi.
But it's like little sushi.
If you use a little cream cheese and a little Greek yogurt and some dill pickle juice,
Stop
plus
being
the pickles,
healthy.
and then blend that together, and then you cut up a bunch of pickles so that you get some chunks of pickles.
Yeah.
And then you cut up the ham and you mix that all together.
Yeah.
I use the Greek yogurt because the cream cheese gets really thick.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's something that's more of a dip rather than a spread.
Let's leave out the ham.
Can I just eat it with a spoon?
Yes. And you can also leave the ham out.
It's a judge-free zone. You could eat lard if you wanted to. We wouldn't judge you.
I can do the same with, I make Matt's other ex-girlfriend, the one we don't like.
We fucking hate that bitch.
Yeah, she's up.
I hate her. I don't know who she is.
I've never met her, but I fucking hate
This
her.
woman bought me
hate her.
clothes, and she would always buy me clothes 2 sizes too big because she didn't like me.
What a tramp.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we hate her.
That's why she's the
She's not a girly girl.
She
We hate
wasn't good enough for Matthew.
Oh, no.
Right.
And we won't go into that.
No.
This is a story for another day.
We could have a whole podcast about her.
Yeah,
Anyway.
Okay.
What else? Okay.
Oh my God. It reminds I loved it when this is my Spider-Man meme coming into play. When Amy
Well,
is
I'll put
talking
that
about
in
the
the video.
ghosts are surprised they're here. And it reminded me of this they're like, "You're here. No, you're here." And they're like, "Who's here?" That just made me think of this. It made me think of the Spider-Man meme because I'm like, who's who then?
Yeah.
Like the ghosts are like, "Holy shit, you're in my space," and the living are like, "No, you're in my space."
Yep.
Whose space are we?
Whose space is it?
So I will say, speaking of some of that with the tall things, where Amy is like, oh my God, what are these things? And she actually said in the reveal, she goes, oh my God, but period, not exclamation point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I drew it. And she shows the sketch, and it's the same thing. And Frankie goes, yep, I've seen those.
Yep.
To me, he goes, are they guardians or something?
Yes.
And she goes, yeah, but not in a good way.
In a good way.
And
I
to
said,
me,
"Eesh."
how many of you guys have watched American Horror Story?
Nope.
Because that picture looked like it would have been something out of Murder House.
It scares me.
The best,
Murder House,
the best
that's-
American Horror
yes,
Story.
best. The
Is it
first
scary?
Yes.
Oh,
It's called American Horror
It's about a
Story.
haunted house and it's beautiful and Connie Britton is in it. And
isn't that the one with Lady Gaga?
No, that's
later.
Hotel. That's like 6.
I haven't seen Hotel.
But she's in it, right?
Eventually.
Ah, I love her.
But
But no,
the
that's
show is
scare me.
literally called American Horror
It's
Story,
quite
not
scary.
Horror Story.
Not horror. That's a different.
Horror.
That's a different channel.
And we don't use that word.
Well, some people deserve it.
I know. Yeah.
Not sex workers, but other people just.
No.
Anyways,
So
but the image itself looked like it came out of.
it reminded
Murder
me
House.
of a Jason mask.
Yes.
It
That
reminded me of a Jason
Yep.
Voorhees
Yeah,
mask.
and it had like little spiky things
Yeah,
all
like,
over, like all over the arms and everything.
Get
That was bizarre.
He was hairy or
Well, to me, it was almost like
It looked like a little spike.
yes,
like lizard back type thing, or like a dragon or something. But I
would love a
just
lizard.
even writing down, just like Frankie definitely has seen things in.
Yeah.
We used to dream about a man in the yard.
Yeah.
It was this tall thing. Amy sees these creepy things in the yard and in the woods. They're 7 feet tall. They're elementals, so she does have a
voiceover, which I love.
That was
talks
really
about-
good. Yeah, I noted that too.
that is something that always was in the earlier seasons,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
it explained what
Where
the
she
hell
would say,
it is.
I just mentioned it.
So she goes-
basically, and this
Yep.
is what it is. Yeah.
And this was the
Elementals
best description that
Yeah.
I'd heard.
Elementals are
Too.
Yeah.
are created by nature.
Yep. They were
This
never
one-
human.
This one was never living. It never lived, so a priest could not get rid of it. Only a shaman could.
Yep.
And again, if we look at the way that different religions go, shaman is more connected in general. I'm not an expert. I am just where I've seen it is more connected to nature, and that
Yep.
aspect
Yep.
is not so much connected to a book of stories.
Mhm.
Right.
I wrote, shaman, I know one.
I know one.
I do. And she's
I was one in
Delightful.
past.
You guys, we interviewed a shaman. Her name was
Leah.
Leah, and
Leah.
she's amazing.
She is in Thailand right
She's
now.
currently traveling the
She's
world,
traveling.
and I do plan when she comes back at some point that I am going to do a animal totem with her.
She was
she's
so
cool.
sweet. I know.
So
Yeah.
But yeah.
We should have her back on the show after she comes back to tell us about her travels and
Yes.
stuff. Wouldn't that be fun? She was so
Great
great.
idea. This is why you run the show.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I say.
Her mic off for a while so
That's-
that we have at least
I know.
something to
So we
contribute
at
to this.
least look smart.
Shut up.
I mean, I never do.
None of us look smart. Well, no, Amy does sometimes.
Okay.
Ouch. Ouch.
We're literally right here.
This is probably part of,
I was including
my self-diagnosis of probably being on some form of spectrum.
This
yeah.
is where
Oh,
my-
we took Amy and I both took the autism test.
Where do you
I'll
find
send
it?
you
Yeah,
the
send
link.
it to me.
Yeah, because I took the test and the first time I took it, I got like a 12 or something on the number on the scale. I don't know what it goes up to, but on the sliding
13.
scale, that's what Greg said. He was trying to figure out. He wouldn't take it, but I got like 12, and then I took
30 questions.
it again. The same day I sent it to you, and I got 25.
So your autism varies from day to day.
It does vary from day to day.
I got a 15, and it was like, well, you displayed some issues, some of those things, and it does make sense because I do like if I don't know an answer to something, I have to go and find the answer.
No,
You
I
do.
I have to go and
You
find
do too, though.
I do.
You do. If we're
But
talking
more
about
than-
something,
but-
you will
I
grab your
don't
phone
I
right
don't like
away.
being wrong.
Right,
And,
right.
And I know that sounds really terrible,
I did not get that from you. Never.
but
Never
but
would've-
I I know that
never
sounds really like pretentious. and
I'm
that sort of
learning
stuff.
so much about you.
I don't like
But it doesn't come off as pretentious.
That's so
To me,
pretentious.
but to me, it sounds pretentious to me, and I don't like being wrong. I don't like when something is incorrect. I don't like things being corrected for me.
Right.
And it
No, me too.
it goes into my work on a daily basis too. Like if I will overly overcompensate on some things because somebody was like, "Oh, by the way, you did that wrong once." If I did it wrong once, I will never do it. I won't do it. I can't say never do it wrong again because I'm sure plenty of people are like,
in your power to not.
"Yep."
Yeah.
And some of it is also like,
I'm so weird.
we always just like talk about like, oh, it's just a Stanley trait. Like, so my mom's maiden name is Stanley, which my grandfather, that was the one who recently passed away. If you have the last name Stanley, apparently we are related because he.
Oh my God,
we were related.
Stanley, yes.
He believed we were related to every Stanley. My sister and I went out to Oregon this fall, and he was like, "Did you know that we have there's a bunch of Stanleys out there?" And Kelly and I are like, "Yeah." We stood on the counter and go, "Stanley," and just to see if anybody responded.
And we found 5 cousins.
And then we're like, "Hey, we know you." We do have roots that trace back to Metal's Little Bighorn, which really wasn't a battle. It was Custer leading everybody into a slaughter because he was a fool. Supposedly,
There's that history.
Supposedly, he kept saying that we were related to like King Richard the Lionheart.
Okay.
But I might be like 15,000th in the line for the throne.
Well, that's better than me. I'm 16,000.
Okay. Yep. I mean, we're all. I mean, England went everywhere, so we're probably all in line for the throne at some point.
Yeah, we are.
To be fair,
Yeah.
Should be
I mean,
bad.
England conquered everybody.
Yeah.
You can tell, like, when the alcohol's hitting us more and more. At least me.
Yeah, Megan told me she loved me just a little bit ago. She grabbed my hand and everything.
That'll be both.
Yeah, this is going to
Platonic.
be a show for the already fans. This should be only fans. This is. If you don't love us, this is going to bug the shit out of you. What?
That was really good.
It's fine. It's ignored it.
I said I love you, and I go, it's platonic. And she whispered, that's not what your eyes say.
That was
to be fair, I would have said that to stone cold sober.
She said it to me last week.
In a text message.
glad Allie's not here.
Oh, yeah. Like,
Oh, you guys, I'm going to have to cut a lot of this.
you have to cut it so much. Cut it out.
I mean, we've been recording for like 2 hours, and it's probably going to be a 20-minute episode.
Yeah. Amy's going to be like, God, fuck, we can't use any of this shit.
Actually, if the sound is working, I will use it all. Just, I don't.
Oh my God, I'm so...
All right.
I did say, okay, so, and when they were talking about the history, and they were talking about the family who lost...
Oh, we're talking about the show now.
I figured we should for a minute.
That's probably a good idea. Just until we get off the tracks again.
This is what the people want. So they talked about Asika, who, and they said, quote, went anorexic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that. Can we not?
It was a weird way to put
It
that.
was a weird way. She stopped eating out of, like, depression
And
because
grief,
she
yeah.
lost how many kids? Her husband died.
Right.
2 of her kids died by suicide. One of them died from, quote unquote, arm cancer. Another was an infant
Yeah, that's another thing we have to
who
talk about.
died at 9 days of bronchitis. No wonder she's,
Yeah.
what, days, months, which time is this social
But anyways,
construct?
yeah, I mean, the anorexia, it was a
I didn't like that.
I saw
Depression.
I saw the same thing with, like,
Yeah,
my
she gave
grandma,
up.
my grandma, when she told her daughters back in September when they like had the true diagnosis and what was going on, she told them once she said who gets what and who needs to take what. They didn't really have a will. They didn't have a lot.
Mm-hmm.
She just said, I'll just stop eating when it's my time. And because she couldn't eat anyways.
Yeah.
She wasn't able, with everything that was going on, she just couldn't go. She was well under 100 pounds when she passed.
Asika was 63. They say that
60
multiple times.
Yep, they said that 63
But, like-
pounds. And to me, that's not necessarily
It depends how big she was.
I
understand.
But I understand she didn't look that tall in the
No,
pictures.
she didn't.
And I understand why they called it anorexia, but there is a difference between that and the depression that she was facing.
And anorexia is an illness, and that
as is depression. They're two different. They're different.
They're different disorders, and they sometimes go together.
Yes, and I don't want. Thank you for pointing that out, because I'm not like downplaying.
None of us have those things, so therefore we we all have like the mechanisms that pull us back out of it. So it's just a reminder of like, hey, oh yeah, those are classified as.
But she was not
word for a long time.
No, she wasn't anorexic, and that made me angry because she just, she was depressed. She lost her whole freaking family.
Right. But what's the sad thing is this was 2012. Like, we look back at it. So this would have been filmed probably in 2012 as well.
Yeah.
And we look back at it, and that just seems like the dark ages of things that we don't, we know so much more nowadays because people are coming forward so much more nowadays about
how it should be.
Even mental
Take
health.
The stigma away.
Right.
They didn't really talk about, even though they talked about suicide in this episode, they don't talk about mental health in this episode. Mm-hmm. And we've seen that how many times with comedians. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, we never had an idea because they were so funny. But then they've also done
Robin Williams.
So many studies and everything that have shown that people who are in those spaces, those head spaces, often do everything to make everybody else laugh because there's a people pleaser aspect in that. And it's a way to dissociate from your life.
Yep.
That when you have too much time to sit and think about your life,
you're like, shit, it sucks.
Or
that's what you think.
Other things, and
not necessarily what's true.
Right. Correct. And there's no like clean little like bucket that everything fits into.
Well, and
I think put it in that
a lot of times with people who are famous, and especially comedians like Robin Williams, that going out on a stage and making people laugh, that boosts them up a little bit. It raises, their vibration, if you will, or whatever. But
the energy level.
It gives them something that they can't get anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
You might could that be considered like an addict?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. A lot of people who do that are addicts as well.
Robin Williams was.
My dad as well. He was one person he was an alcoholic.
What?
Yeah. He didn't drink that much in the later years. I mean, especially not in the very later years. But yeah, he was an alcoholic, and quit drinking for a long time, and then went back and was like, yeah, fuck it, I'm just gonna drink wine whenever I want. And then Jackie would be like, you can have 2 glasses of wine per day. But anyway, Jackie's an angel.
She's the best.
She's the best. But no, it's like a dopamine thing. Yeah. Oh, I made her laugh. Oh my God.
Right.
And my mom told me at Christmas that my dad didn't like pay any attention to me when I was little until I was old enough
to
laugh at him. And I was like, so I was the audience. So until I was the audience, he didn't.
Here's a really interesting thing. And this, I've done some of the like research on this for work stuff, but each minute we are surrounded by 40 a million pieces of information. We consciously process 40 of it. So think about everything you see, hear, smell, all your senses in that time frame. So when you're talking about your dad and he just didn't know how to connect with something younger than could laugh at him.
Right.
And it's not a fault necessarily on him. It's a fault on how how society was.
Right.
But because of that, once he was able to realize if I can make people laugh, your brain catalogs things. This is bias. This is an unconscious bias piece.
Yep.
There's so many things that go into it, but your brain categorically takes things that are positive and are like, how do we do that again? How do we do that?
Yeah.
That's why when you get praise at work, you want to do the best you can the next time around.
Yep.
When you have a negative thing, and everybody reacts to the negative differently, but your brain catalogs it as like, ooh, that was a bad experience.
Yeah.
It's the same way we learn how hot is. It's the same way that we learn all these other things. How many of us, if you've ever seen something run across the road when you're driving, you throw your hand across the driver's or the passenger seat?
Yeah, I don't do that.
And
I don't care about who's next to me. Fuck them.
It's an automatic.
My mom did that to me, and so I do that.
My friend, her mom used to do that, and she called it safety mom. So we were in the car. She was my college roommate. This was like 20 fucking years ago. And she...
No, you're not even 20 years old yet.
I know. The skin is flawless.
You were a teen mom?
It's okay. I was on MTV. Oh my God, no. I did once call in, though, Sex for Sue. Do you remember Sex Talk with Sue?
No.
I tried to call in there from college. The line was always busy. It was a show on Oxygen with Sue. She was a sex therapist, and she had little dolls, and you called in with your questions, and she would demonstrate the dolls what to do. Sue is a real person.
Sex with Sue.
Well, there's a lot of Sues that are real people.
Sex with Sue on Oxygen, and then right after that, it was La Nikita. So
I'm not familiar with that.
Anyways, in college, she did safety
making it up.
mom.
Yep.
Nope. I'm gonna find it. Sex with Sue.
Yeah, the things, the reactions that you have that are, just it's a reaction because it's ingrained in you, which is it goes towards a bias.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, back to Oh, I did note that when Steve went to the library,
Yeah.
he was digging through the archive.
I noticed there was a bit of a montage. There was even a spinning thing.
Yes.
And I'm like,
Oh,
is this a 1980s sports?
microfiche?
Yes.
I was like, is this a 1980s fucking microfiche?
Yep.
Yes.
So we
Sexy
did
Sue?
talk a little bit about the woman who Amy then saw as the crying woman, but it was also the family that settled there was in the 1899. Charles and his wife had 13 children. Edward was the oldest.
Eddie.
And Amy saw somebody, and she's like, Eddie, he was a farmer.
Yep.
That was the kind farm.
that. 100%.
And I want to say,
and Steve's face, as she's reading that,
I
she's
know.
like,
I want to say I was so pleased with that part of this episode
Me
because
too.
Steve was like,
I know.
Oh my God, you're so good.
Steve was like, oh my God, are you
there was
kidding
a
me?
lot of
Before he was kind of a dick to her.
Yep.
He actually looked like he was super impressed.
Yep.
And that warmed my heart a little bit until I remembered what he was
there was a lot of
That's
drama.
why you remembered he's a Republican.
There was a lot of drama.
Yeah, we don't hate Republicans. We just hate Republicans that don't
Trumpers.
Trumpers and people that don't
Value human
value
life.
other people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But we did get to talk to somebody who was Steve spoke with Trevor, who was a descendant of
the
family.
Great. He was the
That's
Smith great grandfather.
Yes. So of the Smith family, and that is where we find out about the anorexia,
Yes.
Yeah.
aka depression, because of a lot of things.
And just giving up on life.
I mean,
that's what
he
she
did. Say
did.
she killed herself in a way, and I guess that's
true. I did like that he said that. It was suicide
In a way.
In a way. And
Yep.
it was because she literally just...
Well, and it was
eating.
right.
a big piece of this that is a little bit overlooked. So not only did they have 4 children that passed away young in life. So as Megan stated earlier, we had a 6-year-old who died from, quote, cancer of the arm, which is most likely sarcoma, which is a bone cancer that could be specialized there.
I just wanted to mention that when I saw that, I thought that was weird too. And Amy was even like, what? Cancer of the arm? I have a friend who I worked with, one of my last jobs, whose daughter had what appeared to be cancer of the hand. She had, and her hand basically got it was only here in her hand, her finger to her palm. I don't know what was going on inside, but they ended up taking that off, and
it's sarcoma.
Okay,
so it's
osteosarcoma. They just took that part of her hand.
So that's why I write with my left hand.
Yeah.
In case my right arm ever gets amputated.
Okay, what about
osteosarcoma is definitely usually a more individualized space before it starts spreading.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You see this often in dogs that end up with a limb that has been amputated because they can, if the cancer is in a limb, if they amputate the leg, which most dogs are very, very good at adapting to that.
They're like, leg? What leg? I never had
that. That is literally a cure at that point.
Yeah.
Unless it has already spread to something else.
Yeah.
So that's where, as they say, cancer of the arm, she probably had lesions or bumps or something that were coming up and it was showing in that spot.
Yeah.
So likely, when you look it up, if you type in cancer of the arm,
Okay.
sarcoma is going to come up.
Okay.
Then they also had a girl 4 that died of pneumonia, a girl 9 that died of bronchitis, and a boy that was stillborn. Amy addresses this in the reveal, saying that it was likely this demon thing picking on the weak.
Yep.
And also the suicides of the family, which would have been the two brothers that died by suicide.
Yep.
And then
were both from this family, and they were influenced by this demon-like thing. It took everything from this family.
didn't the great-grandfather die by suicide too?
The grandmother did.
No,
No.
I did not get that
Okay.
with Charles or Edward.
Maybe
It was
'Cause he
Thomas
pointed-
and Raymond.
They did talk about one other person. I thought
Yeah,
it
they
was one of the
talked
other
about-
women. I thought it was one of the women. Maybe
I
I'm thinking
remember
about the
he
anorexia.
pointed the guy who Trevor, the great-great-grandson, pointed to his grandfather and said he was a hardworking man.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Did he not die by suicide?
No,
Well,
that was Eddie.
Oh, okay.
So
I
his
misunderstood.
grandfather was Edward, or great grandfather, I should say.
Yes.
His grandfather was the youngest brother
Okay,
of
so
Raymond
okay.
and Thomas. So
Yeah.
Thomas was the one who was 24 years old. They kind of bypass him because I don't think he's one of the spirits that's
No.
there.
Is he the
Raymond
one?
is the spirit that's there.
Is he the one that killed himself first?
Yes, Thomas
Yes.
is the one who died by suicide in 1939 after an argument and breaking up with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And
Then-
he shot himself in the heart with a 22
Yeah, in the kitchen.
in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And then later on, Raymond,
Copied
seemingly
him.
out of nowhere in 1961, used the same gun and shot himself in the same manner.
But he
However,
didn't die.
he didn't die.
So
And
he hung himself.
correct, he hung himself, and that's where it's like
That
having the
thing.
rope in the barn, and then we did
I'm
the
like, was
reveal
that
in the
rope
barn.
really there?
That I
I said-
put that down as well. I was
I
like,
said, why are they doing the reveal in a barn?
but having the
Just
rope.
like the one other one we did where
Yeah.
they did the barn for no reason that I
No
could tell.
reason.
But
I put that down as was
That's
the rope
tacky.
actually
The
there, or did they put it there?
no, I think they must have put it there because even if it was there, Matt or whoever's actually doing the clearing would have pulled it down
Yeah.
because Amy looks up.
Yeah, I mean,
She
it was
doesn't actually see a rope. She sees a rope in her mind's
In her
eye.
mind.
She doesn't actually see a rope,
Yep.
but we see it. So I think they put it
Yeah.
up there afterwards or got stock
Because
footage
it
of a
wasn't-
rope hanging from the top of the barn.
And if
Bucket
you've ever
ropes.
been in an old barn, there are lots of ropes and there
Sure.
are lots of things there. So that's where it's like, was this really there, or was this put there?
I think it was put there.
Was it,
It
a
was-
noose?
No, it was not in a noose.
Okay.
It was
It was-
frayed at the end. It was a
Yeah,
thick
it was-
rope that was,
Yeah.
which the truthfully the style of rope was too thick to have been used for something like that. It was if you almost like 2 to 3 inches across in diameter.
Okay, so it's possible it was there, I guess, for some other reason, like to
But
place
you
stuff
should have
up.
noticed and
In
taken it
in those
down.
barns, you're hauling hay, you're putting
That's
bales
what I
of
do
hay.
with barns.
Well, barns did keep the square bales of hay up in the upper loft.
Yeah.
A lot of farm kids have
That's why they
spent
call her
years-
rolling the hay. Idioms.
Roll.
just gonna- we're just
Remember, Young Frankenstein?
Yes,
Roll, roll in the
yes,
hay.
I know exactly what you're talking.
I don't.
Oh, it's a chicken.
Oh, I love Young Frankenstein.
Okay.
But yeah, so there was it's just a lot of really interesting stuff, and Amy connects to that family and says that this demon thing caused a
Is
lot.
bad.
Of the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did say it caused the suicide. She
Yeah.
said it influenced them.
It
And then-
took the children.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
'Cause they were
babies who all died.
And then Amy
Sickness.
Judy talked about how her son was pulling away from her.
Yes,
And that's why they moved. And I'm like, you probably
Yeah,
saved his
all of a
life.
sudden that came up in the
in the reveal.
reveal, but that wasn't earlier on in the episode.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And who knows? Maybe it was.
Yeah.
Maybe it was discussed earlier, and it just.
I
cut.
did write when Franco saw the baby who died prematurely. That got me.
Oh
When
my
he-
God! When
He was describing like a little baby moving
like a
around.
a white mist
Oh,
that was
okay.
like a little baby
Yep.
that then formed to look like a
preemie.
baby, a preemie. Yeah, he said that. And then when Amy talked about that, and then, and he was like, "Oh, that's
But
what
that
I saw."
explains it.
Amy, I said Amy didn't like his explanation of it.
Oh,
She was kind of like, she's pulling her
Mhm.
pulling her face back, like what, like and I don't know, is that a like you really saw that, or that's interesting that's the connection you made.
Well, and also keep in mind, after talking to Laura last week, we know that they splice in reactions and stuff from people to tell the story.
Yep.
She flat out
story they want.
Exactly. She
Not
flat out
story
said
that's being told.
that you are that they the production team or director, whoever it is, tells the clients to look at each other and count to 20.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
But you're
and
supposed
move
to
your arms around.
Yeah.
21.
So
Because you get the
the
of 21.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then they splice in
Things.
other words.
And
we commented that it sounded like Steve. It was like a voiceover.
Weird voiceover, yeah.
And that's when she said, well, yeah, they have us count to 20 and wave our arms around.
Yep.
And then they put
we've
in
heard
whatever
that
they
from
want.
previous clients who have said, they make us sit there and like react to different things, even though we're
Well,
not
like I
reacting to
remember
something.
Randy saying that when they put a reaction that he made on his face into something else, he's like, I didn't make that face when that happened. I made that face when I said something different.
Donna too had that same kind of thing.
Yeah. They were just making a mayonnaise commercial with Donovan.
Yep. And I thought it was
remember Donalyn, she said that they were when the neighborhood, they had all the trucks and stuff in the neighborhood, and she was instructed by the crew to tell everybody that they were doing a mayonnaise commercial.
Yep.
We're recording a mayonnaise commercial.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think, like I said, Amy just seemed to have some reactions that just seemed like, really? Is that it? But then we also see Steve do the like, you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like when she said that she saw a kind farmer, Ed or Eddie.
And he was like,
you kidding me?
Yeah.
And then
she goes, yep, just kidding. His name was George. Like, come on.
But I will say this is earlier episode. We're seeing Steve look at the picture and go, wow, tell me what you guys think.
Yeah.
But the tone that he said it in
still says
very leading.
Yes. And I will say that I can see the resemblance.
Oh, I thought it was spot
the lady?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was spot on too.
I thought it was like copy paste. I mean, honestly, the only thing for me that was different was her hair from the picture.
Yeah.
But other than that, the nose, the mouth, the eyes, everything.
I had to keep reminding myself in that is that Amy said she kept changing ages.
Yeah.
Because she was flashing back.
Yep.
So Amy was seeing that, but she was also seeing her when she was in her depressive state of being very thin compared to the picture that we see, which is more round cheeked.
Right.
So yes, I did not see it as view. I thought it was very compelling, like very much so like the other image.
Yeah.
But we also don't get a long period of time where we're seeing them side by side.
Yeah.
Whereas some of the other ones we've seen and we're like, the fuck is that?
Yeah. What's that cartoon caricature you just
I wrote the sketch of the mom is spot on because
I thought
honestly it was.
And it was very good art. It was very good.
It was very well done. And
it makes me angry that they don't let the artist keep it or the people keep it. Like, that makes me mad.
It was interesting to read. Like, I started looking at Reddit and just to see how people were feeling about Dead Files, a little bit on it. And, somebody was like, why didn't they just hire somebody who's on every episode? I'm like, because then they'd have to pay them.
Yeah.
They'd be on staff.
100%.
And then they don't for that travel.
Yeah.
All they have to do for these ones is maybe $1,000,
$400 or whatever.
Whatever it is paying for your hours and time at that point. We are not paying you to be on salary.
Right. And like you said, travel, hotel.
Well, and also, I mean, I'm playing devil's advocate here on the part of the Dead Files production. But maybe somebody like my husband would watch this and go, oh, they have the same sketch artist every time. Well, then they obviously tell the sketch artist what to draw.
Yeah, I could see that.
Honestly, when I was looking at a couple of things, I saw somebody who wrote an article after the Lizzie Borden one that they did. And they're like, they're the biggest frauds. They're so fake.
The Lizzie Borden people?
It wasn't the Lizzie Borden person, but it was somebody who's done a lot of research on Lizzie Borden. They were saying that the Dead Files is so fake because she goes in after they've already talked about everything. So obviously Like, there's no way that she says poison and they're talking about poison. And like,
she goes in before.
yes.
It even shows like he's interviewing the people, and then it flashes across the screen like 18 hours earlier, 12 hours earlier.
Actually, it's the other way.
It's the other way around that
bizarre
I've heard.
that they do it that way.
They do it that yep.
They show Amy
She
coming
usually
out
goes in
opening,
afterwards.
and then it says 19 hours earlier, and it shows Steve talking to the people, and I'm like,
Because
that's backwards. That's not how it happens. All the clients told us it's the other way around.
go in and they cover everything.
Yeah.
At least in the earlier episodes. Then they would have to go in and uncover it for recording.
Yeah.
So, of course, they're just flipping it. However, at the same point, they're also doing hours and hours of things. So if Steve mentions poison at some point and Amy comes up with, or Cindy comes up with poison at some point, it's not like it's pinpointed that that's exactly what they're going to say.
Right.
So I can understand where this person was coming from, but they're like, oh, they're saying they uncovered a picture of Lizzie that's never been seen before. And, oh, that's just her at an old age. And I've seen that picture. And it's like, maybe you're too invested in this to be...
Maybe get a new hobby.
To be making this. But it also sounds like you're obsessed with Lizzie. And, what I know we're going into that episode a little bit, but that episode was really interesting because I'm pretty sure Amy was like, it wasn't her.
Yeah.
Right. And then when she found that Ouija board under the couch.
Yes.
That was so
she was
creepy.
She actually said, my spirit guide just told me to move the couch. And so Matt helped her move the couch.
Yep.
And that Ouija board was under.
I'm sure somebody was like, oh, they told her they planted
that
there.
Creeped me out when she saw that Ouija board.
But
that
was like,
scary.
oh,
the stories for another day.
Hell no. The no board as Zoe calls it.
I don't like it.
Did you see that?
I used to play with it as a little.
I don't know if it's a real thing or if it's somebody making up like an ad for on Amazon, but they had like a Bible one that you can connect to God.
Oh,
I saw it in the other podcast group one we look at, and it was like, so isn't this just a Ouija board but for Bible verses?
Yeah.
No, like ridiculous. No,
ridiculous.
But I think as we're kind of
we need. Yeah, our pizza's gonna be here.
Thank God, I'm gonna eat by.
No,
I know I'm hungry too.
But
what did he say?
7 to 7.
I was just gonna say, as we were looking to start wrapping up in the reveal, we noted earlier that I put in here, nothing was said about the other house until Steve says, I'm turning it over to Amy to tell us, And Amy tells him,
gotta go.
Yep. Amy tells them that they need to bring in a holy man to do a blessing and sealing for the house, both houses.
Yep.
She
did say Judy's house would be easier to cleanse.
Yes, because it's just people walking through.
Yeah, there's nobody of note there. I mean, It talked about in the episode.
Yeah, they're just coming through.
Wasn't the burrowing thing? Didn't that come to the other house? One of the spirits went to the other house.
She said the burrowing thing is very powerful because it's a demon. It can go anywhere.
But for the spirits in general, the other things there, a blessing and sealing would do this. Yeah. But the elemental is tied to the other property. Yeah. So even though it could go to other places, that's its home territory, basically. And it said the property needs the same thing, plus a shaman for the elementals that seals the property so they don't come back. Mm-hmm. That's when we get the voiceover about what an elemental is and why it needs a shaman. And then Steve goes, well, what if they don't do it? And it was like, well, it would be bad and it would continue.
Yeah.
Steve, and at the same time, if they do get all of these things, if they get the shaman and the holy man or the priest, things will go well. Mm-hmm. And this is because it's such an early episode. I don't know if you guys caught on to or you ladies caught on to the like almost desperation in both Amy and Steve's voices as they were like,
"Are you going to do?
Please tell me you're going to promise that you'll have this done. Please tell me you're going to do this."
He says to Franco, "You look like you're dubious and you're maybe not going to do this." And the guy Franco goes, "No, I know somebody who is a shaman. I know, I've heard these stories before. We're going to do that."
He had somebody he called them Indian, but an indigenous person who had evil spirits, and a shaman came and moved the evil spirits.
So that's nice that he had that connection, because obviously that he didn't use that.
And so that's why he was almost like smirking, like, "Yep, I know what to do. I need to do this."
Yep.
And then Amy has a voiceover, and then it shows her in the studio basically, and says, "I witnessed exactly what Frankie saw, but that is hard for a young man to admit."
Yes.
Yeah.
And being again that it was 2012, it is a great call up, because I think that it is harder, especially for teenage to young 20s men, to be like, yeah, that was real or not.
Yeah.
And what we see at the end is that both houses have been blessed, not sealed, just blessed, and the activity has decreased.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a really good one.
I would like to talk to this family, guys. If you're out there, family in this episode,
Judy,
I think it would be great.
Franco.
Judy, Frankie, Franco, would love to get some further. I mean, it's been, what, 10? 12?
Well, it's been 11 years, because earlier I said 13, and I was like, I don't know how I got
So I'm going to
13.
split the difference and go 12.
Okay.
It's been a long time, and it would be nice to know what's going on with people, and if they're still in the same house.
Yeah.
Or if they've moved something, because I got the impression they all have abilities, right?
Right.
They can all see stuff that most, like Steve can't see and Matt can't see. So they all have at least some sort of abilities, and it would be interesting. Like, one thing I loved about Laura is when Amy said, "Oh, there's a woman here," wink, wink. She's looking right at her, like it's
A dark-haired woman.
You.
A dark-haired living woman. It's like,
and Amy and Laura's like, I knew it was me. I knew it was me.
It was me.
And then when we talked to her, she's like, I knew something was
the
going on.
moment I laid eyes on Amy.
Yeah,
she
said they passed each other in the hall, and Amy gave her a look, and I was like, okay, yeah. So but I love that Laura leaned into that, and now she's a medium.
Yeah.
And she does readings for people.
And she said she's in charge.
No, she does it all for free because it's a gift.
Yeah.
I keep waiting for one of these people who to be on there to be like, I've got somebody who's just being annoying in my ear that tells me that I need to tell you guys these things.
Yeah.
Like, come on, family. Let's do this together.
Come on, Dad. Next time we talk to a medium, Dad, I want you to tell them to say something.
Let's go, Alan.
Come on, Alan.
Well, he's already been here.
I know.
I think he has to.
I think he is. I think he's always here with us.
I think he's probably here.
Probably
Just sitting over there
critiquing us.
He's like Jenny said, he's very happy that you're doing this show, because my dad was an old broadcaster,
right,
too. And she said he's really happy you're doing the show, and he said, "What took you so long?" Yeah, I'm like, I must late dollar shop for everything. It takes me a while to figure shit out.
We're trying our best over here. Hey. It's been a rough 4 years.
Did I tell you? I think I told you guys, but I don't think I've talked about it on the show, but I think I told you guys. What?
It's basically like our 4-year anniversary, because we met in January of 2020.
Oh,
I didn't tell later, but
not till 2 years ago.
Well, we met in 2015. What was our 10-year anniversary? Oh, we did meet. I still remember that. We went to the pizza place.
We were at number 12 Cidery.
Yeah. Was there not pizza?
Yeah, they have that there too.
Megan remembers the pizza. Amy remembers the cider.
I'm fat. I remember the food.
Well, here's the random thing is that when things stick, like when there is major things that happen, I also remember I remember the table that we were all standing with, because
big long.
Yep. And it was the one right next to the where you come in.
Yes.
So we weren't one over. We were right there. Yes. And it was the front two, because there was four tables up. We were the second table from the bar. And we were on the side that was where everybody was walking in from.
Yes, because this is the table. This is where Amy and I were standing.
Yep.
This is the door. And we were chatting, and she said, "I have a psychic." And I said, "Oh my God." She goes, "Here's her number." And then I got knocked up, and then we went for walks in the park.
Yep. That is 100%.
That seems like a really
100%, but
that was
100% exactly how it happened. We didn't meet up again to go to Utah Hills and Ben Distillery a couple weeks later.
We did.
We did. Prior to you.
I don't remember the other one, but I remember Bent.
Yeah, we met at
is right down here.
We met at Utah Hills because you rode with me and my family, my brother and my mom.
Oh my God, that's right, in your Jeep, and your mom was in the front seat.
Yeah.
See, all she needs is a little trigger, and then she remembers everything.
Yeah, Mom is so nice.
Mm-hmm.
She's a delight. So's Matt.
I've met Matt.
So's Kelly.
I met Kelly. I have not met Mom or Dad yet.
Yeah, we had the reading together. all of us with Kelly.
Yeah. No, I
And
haven't
Tori.
met mom or dad.
Oh,
I met
yep.
Kelly.
Kind of a big deal. I've met mom. I've not met dad. I forget your mom's name. Nancy?
Deb.
No, I was close.
Nancy is her sister.
I was close. I forget why we were talking about this, but
Because it was about this
How long
time
we've known each other.
that we
I do
met.
remember, yeah, I was pregnant and we went for a walk, which was a big mistake.
That was July.
Walking always hurt me so bad when
We didn't go very far, and then we just
We
sat down for a picnic.
because I was in a lot of pain.
Yeah, we were at the Coon Rapids Dam.
Was that with Briggs? Was he there? That was him. Yeah,
Yeah, it was my baby.
for a walk.
I never met Brig.
He was a good boy.
He's like,
So then we had a picnic, and yeah, I was just starting to show at that point because that would have been about 5 months.
Mhm.
Walking hurt.
Good times.
Good times.
Good times.
And
Anyway,
happy anniversary.
happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Happy. Well, you did. You got us. We
I know that was for
Christmas
Christmas.
gifts. And Amy was nice enough to bring us, Megan and I, flowers for our 100.
And I made her some ornaments, and I thought that they were both Briggs. They weren't.
But they're both my old boys.
They weren't. I did not realize Bodie was that gray.
Bodie has been gray since 3.
That's what made me think it was Briggs.
My Digby has been like that.
Yeah, Digby has been great.
We
for
call
years.
we blame Gracie because
Bo-
she's a lot. She's a lot.
Bobo's a warrior, and he has
Digby's a gentleman.
he has been gray for a long time, but Bodie has a little bit narrower head than Briggs did. Briggs had little tiny ears.
Yeah, Digby sits fancy
Digby says fancy with his arms
forever. All right, we should probably.
All right, let's finish it up. All
hungry.
right. Oh yeah, you're the and you're her.
She's trying to grab the.
I know,
papers, and she steals them from me.
Sorry, I was like looking to see what we were doing.
Well,
next.
if you stayed this long, thank you.
Why?
And
there might be
bless you because
This has been a shit show.
I hope you had champagne.
We're all tipsy, and I said
I
we
told
all,
you
and I mean
at the
me.
beginning
You
to
guys
have a
limoncello
high five.
and sparkling
Are you
wine is
tipsy?
fantastic. Yes.
Are you?
No,
Okay.
No.
I'm tipsy.
just give me a bottle with a straw. All right.
That counts as one glass.
Yeah, it's a glass bottle. It's
Yeah.
one glass.
One glass.
It's one serving. If you drink it all at once, it's
Yeah.
one serving. Just saying.
Everyone, thank you so much
Thank
for joining
you,
us
everybody.
today, and we really appreciate you being with us for however many episodes you've been, and hopefully it's been 100. If you haven't listened to them all, go on back and listen to them.
And you can hear us in our baby podcasting days when we had no idea what we were doing.
Exactly.
We still don't, but we're a little bit more loosey-goosey about
We
it.
have nicer microphones now.
They have different colors.
Yes. Next week, we'll be covering most likely a Dead Files episode. We don't know yet.
Mm-mm.
So it's probably a Dead Files unless one of our interviews comes through for somebody else to come and join us.
Yes.
Which would be awesome,
That'd be awesome.
but we're not sure just yet. So tune in next week and find out.
We know as much as you do, which
Right.
is scary.
Right.
But thank you for listening, everybody. We can't wait to see you or talk to you next week. Bye.
Later.
Oh my God, I have to pee so bad. So much.
Thank you for listening to the Activity Continues podcast. We really appreciate you giving us your ears for a bit. Please reach out if you have a spooky story you'd like us to share on the show. We can be reached at theactivitycontinues@gmail.com or through our website or any of our socials. Links are all in the description of the show. Please feel free to drop us a note and say hi. And join us next time when the activity continues. The Activity Continues is produced by me, Amy, at Collected Sounds Media and is part of the independent Collected Sounds Podcast Network. We are also proud members of the Boo Pod network of super cool podcasts.
Nailed it.